Raj Kattimani is a business financial professional, a consultant, and an author. He has over 13 years of experience from bookkeeping to board meeting discussions. He has had the ability to convert his experience. Okay, so he's done two books. He's authored two books, Life of a CA Student and Finding My Religion. Finding My Religion is very special to us because Raj has written an entire book which is available on Amazon on converting his entire MBA experience from the moment he left his entire decision making to join UBS to every week of UBS. He's chronicled it in a book, and it's his MBA experience on campus. There's great fun stuff. It's like a good hack. You get to know the do's and don'ts of UBS campus. So I believe this is one of the fewest books in India written on a student's life in an MBA school, right? You all have seen Three Idiots, so someday maybe this will turn into a book, Finding My Religion. He started his career as an intern and subsequently served as an audit manager, senior executive in the finance at Saskin Technology, and assistant manager finance at Quest Global, and has developed expertise in bookkeeping, business finance, pricing, budgeting, tax, and regulatory compliance. All the critical requirements if you're going to ever set up your business. He gets his number crunching from his chartered accountancy. So he was a chartered accountant before he joined UBS, and his ability to think beyond numbers come from his MBA from Cardiff Met University and UBS. So over to you, Raj.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Tarun sir, for this wonderful introduction. And I'm quite overwhelmed to see that there are more than 100 participants online to attend this meeting. I welcome all of you on behalf of Universal Business School. It's a great feeling to connect back to your alumni, your alma mater, and talk to the newcomers who are going to join UBS or already joined. Okay, so let me start with this book. How this idea came into my mind as to should I write a book about my experience in UBS. So quite a few of my friends on the campus, they knew that I am an author because I published a book already before coming into the campus. So they were after 3 months in the campus, we were like, why don't you write again write again something, and why don't you start with the campus? So from I think there onwards, the idea was put into practice. So I started writing even when I was in campus, but it was not that much a priority when I was in campus because MBA study schedule and the things to do in the campus, it was quite hectic, like right from class assignments to uh, other activities, right? So after having completed my MBA from UBS, I started giving focused attention to the book writing, and I'm quite happy the way it has come out. I wish I could share my screen so that you can see the book cover at least. Yeah. Okay. So I think in a bit, what do you say, in a month or so, you will see a very what do you say, lively campus around you because due to the rains, this entire place will turn into a lush green. What do you say? Uh, uh, Actually, a feast to your eyes. Okay. So what you see on the screen as the uh, design for the book cover, it will all come alive in a few days in the campus. So let me get into the specifics of this book, what this book is about. So this book has got three parts. Part one is about how I got into this business school, Universal Business School. And part two is about what UBS is all about, what is taught there, how students' life is made, and how you can, how a new person coming into the campus can, actually explore and become a better person, become a professional in his chosen area. And part 3 is about what after UBS. After you leave the campus, what life is awaiting for you. So these are 3 parts of the book, and I'll be happy to share some of the insights about the campus. In the first week, I mean, first 5 days, we had induction, and during the induction, we had several industry stalwarts coming and giving us lectures on topics like how to become a CEO, topics which are of importance during those times. Like I'm sure in the day now when you join the campus, you will have lots of stalwarts speaking on how business is going to shape up after COVID-19 era. So these are very practical and something that you cannot just expect from the books. This is purely from the practical aspects, how the industry leaders are doing the work, and what kind of thinking and what kind of acting goes on during managing your day-to-day business. So I'll just get into some of the specifics. Like I have written about the first week of induction. Uh, how many uh, how many speakers had come from which industry, and what specific takeaways we had from them during their lectures. And then the book moves on to say about different celebrations that we had. We celebrate almost all the festivals in the campus, because we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is, the world is my family. This is the value that has been put in by our visionary founder, Mr. Gurdeep Ji Anand, and we follow that in spirit, not just keep it on the records. So that is one thing about the campus. And there is a lovely library which is full of books and magazines. You can enter anytime into the library. You can make use of that. There are so many other online subscriptions also. You can make use of them. And we have been really fortunate that uh, we had such great personalities as our dean, and we had lots of online classes also which were part of our curriculum. And uh, what this book again specifically does is how difficult it was for the founders to set up a B school, uh, just at a short distance from Mumbai, which is considered the financial capital of India. And what difficulties the founders faced in setting up the B school. And once the B school was set up, how it was to market the same, because marketing is a big game, especially when you are starting something like education, because in education it is always about your reputation. Are you doing this business as a newcomer? Then it will be always a challenge, right? If you are already running a school as a trust, then setting up an MBA faculty might be easier for you, because you are in the field. But coming from the corporate background, right? Both Mr. Gurdeep Ji Anand and Tarun Anand, both have been in the industry, and they have not run a school per se before coming into before deciding to set up UBS. So how challenging it was for them to market these schools. I think there are a lot of learnings that that will be useful for us if anybody of us are thinking of starting a new business. Maybe the concept is same, but uh, the way it is delivered might be different, might be innovative. Just like in UBS, the experiential learning was the core focus. Instead of book learning, that I think was the selling point, which really made a difference to the success of UBS. And again, we get into the routine at UBS, like what kind of routine we follow, what is mentoring of students, who is the mentor, and how the mentoring goes on every week. And in these mentoring classes, we learn a lot of etiquettes which are not taught in the books, like how to wear a tie. This is a very simple concept, like how to wear a tie, but most of us who are uh, new to wearing a tie might not know that. But this is all, these small factors do add up to your success. Like I remember once Gurdeep Anand sir told me that when you are wearing a blazer, right, if you are preparing for an occasion, uh, when you are wearing a blazer, your tie color and your shirt that you are wearing inside the blazer, that should be in contrast. It should not be of the same color, right? Otherwise, it won't be visible. And also about the socks that you wear, right? Your trouser color and the socks that you wear should match. Otherwise, it will look awkward, right? So these are some of the things which are very, very small things, but what it does is it adds value to your uh, visual appeal, your overall aura, right? So these are finer aspects that you get as a, what do you say, as a bonus. It is not like it is taught only in the MBA classes. These are just additions to your main knowledge stream. Okay, so then we come to one of the important activity that happened is uh, we went to China actually as part of cultural exchange program from UBS. So there, this program was about almost a week or so, and we had a lot of fun. And of course, fun is a part of it, but culturally there were a lot of learnings between India and China. The way they welcome your anybody, like not only from India, anybody who is visiting them, they welcome. And the way they take care of you, I think it was all fantastic experience. And while we were coming back from China, uh, uh, the way Gurdeep Anand sir kept up, like he always used to be like ahead of others. He always used to be very active. Like even the youngsters like us, we used to be like getting tired, but he was always like up and running. So we really enjoyed his company, the way he showed his what do you say, eagerness to do anything. I think that was one of the great learnings we had. So all of these memories are, minutely captured in this book, along with the state case study competition, which is a 100-hour case study competition that we conduct every year. In that, we have case studies from across different subjects, like marketing, finance, operations, even HR related. And these are the case studies mostly from the Harvards, or one of the top 10 MBA colleges that we take, and we discuss it into four different patterns. One is like how to make a mind map of that, and then a brief write up, and then if you want to do it in the form of a PPT, like a summary, so how will you present that case? So a lot of these things actually engaged us, and it really helped us in looking at business from an independent professional point of view, to add value to the business, how to look at a particular problem. um, Sometimes not solving a problem can also be a problem for some time, not always, but in some rare situation it is like that. But all these have to be exposed, and then we have to, when we are exposed to that, we'll easily learn that. So these are some of the points that we learn from the case study. And one more secret sauce of UBS, what I believe, and many of my friends will second that, is that the rush for rush competition that we have. So this is basically a sports activity that we do for a couple of days in the campus. And uh, nearby colleges are also invited to participate in that event. And this particular event is entirely run by the students. None of the professors or the deans or even the founders, they are not interfered. They don't interfere in the way it is organized and the way it is executed. Is it entirely it is given to the students so that we can test their execution skills, how they think, how they execute, how do they get the sponsors. So it is all it's a great learning experience being in the B school. I think this is the secret sauce of UBS, how the professionals are molded, from raw material into the finished product. When you actually execute this kind of event, uh, which I mean, if you look at the format, go through the videos of last few events, I think you will get to know what kind of planning and execution is required for such events to be successful. I think you can, even in the book it is mentioned that what are the learnings we get from those events, and the people who actually made it possible, they have written their experience firsthand and have incorporated that in the book. So this is how this entire book has come up. There is always there is one fictional aspect into that, which is about love story. um, I just added that because it will give some spice to the readers that okay, love stories are happening, and they are happening in the natural way, and you won't feel that it is fictional. You will feel that it is as real as it can be, right? So these are some of the, what do you say, nitty gritties of this book. And uh, if any questions you have, I mean, you can ask as and when any questions strike you. Otherwise, we also have a dedicated Q&A session in the end. So, sir, you want to?
No, I'd like you to relate your personal decision to, you were from Karnataka, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So can you tell us that story of how you chose UBS and why?
Yeah.
Because you were a chartered accountant. That'll be interesting for them.
Yeah. So I remember when I was in Bangalore, Tarun sir had come to organize one of the events for admission awareness about UBS, and I had been to that event, and the way you presented, I think that made an impact in my mind. You were sharing the story of how you became so successful CEO from being just a salesman. I remember you shared your journey as a salesman, and initially you struggled as a salesman because everybody shut door on your face, and you were like as if my career is over. So then you bounced back with certain ideas which made you a superstar salesman. I think that kind of learning experience, if you share with prospectives, I think that will make an impact on their mind, and that is what has happened with me. So I realized that okay, if you have to make a decision about a B school, it is not just about what place, whether it has got a name like IIM or something like that. It is more about how you will learn and what you can learn from the founders, from the people who are in the network of the UBS of that particular school. I think that made an impact on my mind, and I decided that okay, let's visit the campus once. I mean, by that time, in your session, I already made a 50% of my decision. But I said, okay, let me visit the campus once, and then we'll make the decision then and there, final decision. So I think that was that is how. And even before I came to the campus, I had a call from Gurdeep sir. He was asking me questions which really made me think that okay, I am a CA right now, but what after this? I mean, from here on, whether I want to be in the same profession practicing tax and accounts, or do I want to value add value to my profession, give more services which are in the offerings of McKinsey or KPMG or big companies like that, right? So if you want to do that, I think MBA is one of the things that you must do, and because these will give you some additional insights into business aspects, not just the financial aspects. So I think that the questions he asked me made me realize that okay, I know only certain things, but if I want to be complete, I want to know all these additional things. So that made me choose UBS.
Great. Thanks, Raj. A couple of want to know, Aman and Nandini wants to know your best memory in UBS.
I think the best memory is I conducted a debate competition for all the students in UBS, right from choosing the topics and deciding the how the structure of the competition is, and how people will benefit. Entire thing I designed and executed, and that was the idea given by our Dean Bivas sir. I think that was the best memory I had. So, I mean, what debate taught us is actually how to be critical thinking and without criticizing someone, and how to put your point without, without any fear, or without any, what you say, what other people will think. Being assertive is one of the qualities in a debate, and you just don't talk in a debate. You talk with some facts, some figures, some research that you have gone through. So I think that was one of the best memory that I had from UBS.
Great. And Mahak wants to know one thing you didn't like about UBS.
Okay, what I didn't like is, I think sometimes the food. I think food, because food is something that everybody is not happy at some point in time, and it is acceptable, because when you run a canteen for 200, 300 people, and they are also people who are managing the canteen. I think that kind of sometimes it is by mistake, or sometimes unintentional. So sometimes the food is not good, but that is okay, part of it.
Great. Thank you for that. I'll just say that that feedback came for several years. So it's not only his batch, but several years. And Raj, you might be delighted to note that we've taken Sodexo as our food partner. So they are highly professional, the highest level of professionalism. There are live pasta counters, live noodle counters. There's
Oh my god. Okay, okay.
unbelievable hygiene you won't even imagine. So we took that
Okay.
feedback,
So
and now
now I feel that I should have been a part of UBS, right, again, right now.
correct,
Yeah,
correct, correct.
good, good. See,
And
all
they run
these issues will
sorry,
be taken care as and when we realize that okay, these are the issues to be solved. So I am happy that you have taken note of these, and you have, as always, you have been evolving these school.
thank you. Now Nandini would like to know which was the best club. There were clubs on campus. So which was your favorite club?
Of course, my favorite was Finance Club, where we used to discuss personal level finance, like how do you manage expenses, how do you choose certain plans, like those days we used to have prepaid versus postpaid, combination. How do you uh, do that in Excel and take a informed decision? I think we did a lot of these finance related activities in that club, and that was quite useful thing to
Great,
do. Yeah.
great. Manaswi would like to know what is the campus atmosphere like? What is the vibe with professors, students?
It's very lively, I would say. The vibes are always like, you want to do something, you want to show your mettle, you want to excel in what you have chosen to do. And it is always like we never used to have time for resting or something. Whatever night sleep we had for 6 to 7 hours, I think that was the only thing we had. But otherwise, we were all engaged throughout the day. And sometimes we also had night classes, which used to start after the dinner. So we had classes up to 11 p.m. For certain months. I think it is always busy and always a buzz. Everything. I mean, one thing or the other is always going on. Some activity or some event. You're always occupied, and you're always thinking of how do you better yourself. I think that is the best feeling being in the campus.
Great. Nandini would like to know what made you become an author?
Well, that is going back to the childhood memories. Uh, when I was in 12th standard, I think 12th standard, I started writing. What do you say? Daily diary. I used to write a diary. Uh, so what I used to write in that is what did I like about today? I mean, what was my life today, and whether I learned something today, or whether did I add some value to someone today. So that diary, it went on for several years, not just for 1 day or 2 days. So it went on for several years, and when I looked at them all at a bunch, I was thinking, so I have developed quite a good flavor of writing. So why don't I try, writing a book? And when I was doing CA, then I used to observe my colleagues who were equally studious and equally hardworking, or maybe more hardworking than me. Then I used to think about them also, like whether always being in the books is a life for CA, right? So then I decided, okay, let's do something different. Let's not make this course as a course only for people who are what do you say, uh, kitabi, matlab you're always busy with books. It's not like that. You can also enjoy and you can also do CA. So I wanted to change that perspective, and that made me write the book.
Great. Shivangi wants to know, how did you develop the confidence?
About
Just develop confidence overall as a personality.
okay, yeah. So developing confidence, I think, is a simple process, but this process has to be done on a daily basis. So what I think is, if you are true to yourself, right, then there is no need to hide something, or there is no need to show that you are not something that is visible to the others. So if you are true to yourself, I think your confidence will build by itself, and that will show in your behavior. That's what I have been doing.
Great. Now, Shubh wants to know the most difficult situation you faced in campus.
In the campus, okay.
Yes.
uh, I think uh, hmm, the most difficult situation, I think, yeah. So we used to, I mean, I was part of marketing team in this Rush for Rush context, right? So marketing, I think not everybody can do marketing. There are people who want to have that flavor and that particular zeal, hopping from place to place. I think there I decided, okay, I don't want to be a part of marketing because it's not happening with me. So I, from marketing team, I moved on to organizing committee, and then I think that was the difficult task for me. Maybe I could have gone on further to leave that comfort zone, and I would have tried. Maybe I have failed, but I would have learned better, I think. So I think that was the hardest point I remember.
Right. Revati would like to know, how would you describe UBS's approach towards social work and societal upliftment?
Oh yeah, I remember. I think those days we had this newly launched campaign by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So we used to go to the railway station and nearby places in Karjat to clean the places which are dirty and spread awareness among the local people to what is the importance of cleanliness, how it helps them, how does it improve the overall health and hygiene factor. So from that perspective, I think we did a great job, and UBS always does engage in these kind of social activities.
Great. There are several more questions, so I'm going to quickly run through them. So we'd like quick answers from you. How is the MBA? Did the MBA help you become a better author?
Yeah, so right now when I practice as a CA, I practice more as a management professional rather than a CA, because you'll find many chartered accountants doing tax, doing certification, doing audits, accounts, but there are very few chartered accountants who can do, let's say, customer journey map. Let's say a total product concept, uh, business model canvas. So these are practiced by very few CAs, and that gives me a happiness that okay, MBA has given me that added advantage. I can also manage the numbers, but I can also make my clients dream big, go beyond the numbers, and get back to the better numbers. I think that is something that a unique offering that I can give.
Great. And Komal would like to know, how did UBS contribute towards developing your personality?
Well, as a personality, I think, as I said, when Gurdeep Anand sir asked me several questions about what's happening around the world, I think that time I was clueless. And then when I entered the B school, I started realizing that it is always also important to keep track of the current affairs of the world. Not into very details, but at least at the headlines level, you should know that these are the things happening around the world. This is how it may affect the economy. This is how you might have to change your strategy. I think that kind of what do you say uh, uh, perspective I learned from UBS. I think that we should all keep in our mind that being aware of what's happening around the world, not only about your home, your office, only your city. I think that would be a very narrow approach. I think we should have, like I said, the core value of UBS is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is our family, and we should be aware of what's happening in the family.
Great, thank you. So there are three questions from Prakash, from Siddharth, and Guneet, all around sports. So why don't you share
Okay.
if you have any anecdote, and then I'll add to that.
Okay, so I personally used to play table tennis in UBS Rec Room. I remember I had a good memories with Swaraj Mishra. He is also the winner by the, I mean, accidentally he happens to be the winner of the debate competition. Uh, so a lot of sports, like even cricket, I used to be an umpire in the cricket matches, and a lot of sports do happen because we have a huge campus. Literally any sport can be taken up there. It is only the enthusiasm of the students which will make more and more activities happen.
Great. So yeah, we have, just to add to that, we have regular tournaments on cricket, football, basketball, volleyball, table tennis. There's an indoor outdoor tournament. We call it the Olympics. You put into groups, and you have to get, compete with it. And so there's indoor sports like, of course, the chess players, the pool players, the snooker players, the table tennis, carom, so all of that, badminton as well. Then there is a box cricket tournament, and then there is something called the pentathlon. Here you play 5 sports and you compete with each other for the best pentathlete of the college. So there's a lot of sports focus. We would love it. My dream is for each one of you to play a sport every single day, and that's what we are very very proud of. I think it's the MBA program or the undergraduate. They're intense programs, so sports is the best way to let out steam and to stay healthy. Arnab wants to know where can he get your book from?
Yeah, so this is available on Amazon. Even Flipkart it's also available. And there's one more source, which is the publisher's website. If you go to notionpress.com, you will get it in. I think you will get more discount than what Flipkart and Amazon are doing.
Perfect. Thank you. So you can go to Flipkart, Amazon, but the cheapest place would be notionpress.com. You can go there and buy that. Avinash wants to know what about acting, mimicry skills, so all other performing arts besides sports. What's the experience on various other performing arts, dance, music, mimicry, acting?
Yeah, I think as far as music is concerned, we have a piano in the rec room. I think I had a great memory, sitting across uh, people who are playing piano because I don't know how to play. But we had quite a few people who used to be very good at piano, and it was always amazing to listen to them. Uh, Apart from piano, I think there are many players who had like guitar and what do you say. Also, I am also one of the singers. So we had many singers in the campus. So I think this performing arts has also been one of the perfect blends that we had in UBS.
Great. So that I think covers, Ritvik, your question on co-curricular. Yes, a lot of co-curricular focus is there. Akshay wants to know what was the schedule when you were part of UBS? How was a day in the life of yours? What was it like?
Yeah, so I have mentioned that in my book, but again, I will answer your question. See, we used to get up at, around 6 to 6:30, I think, because we had always some assignments to be done before going for the breakfast. So around 8:30, we had breakfast, and then we started the classes at 9 sharp, and the classes went on till 5 o'clock in the evening, and then of course with the lunch break and all. And after 5, we were having some time, some refreshing time, and then again we used to have mentor meeting on a weekly basis, and then we used to have other club meetings like finance club and marketing club, so many clubs, and so this is how. And in some uh, uh, terms, I think we also had night classes where classes used to start after dinner from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So this was our schedule.
Great. So I think Shivangi, he did mention there's Rush for Rush, there's Envy, several events, there's Octave Nights. These are
Yeah.
the
Events are there are so many. Like we had Midnight Summer, we had Rush for Rush, of course. We had so many other events like those. All of them are mentioned in our book, in my book. Uh, when we played Holi, and we also celebrated Ganesh Chaturthi, one of the best festival in Maharashtra. I think all of these are, this book is full of memories, right from day one to, I completed my MBA. Every memory is captured in that.
wow. Thank you. Anmol would like to know, did you ever get midnight assignments and submission was in the morning?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in the first week itself, when we had the induction, we were given a case study on Komatsu, a Japanese company. And I remember we worked on that assignment almost till 3 p.m. I mean, 3 a.m. So from we got that assignment somewhere at around lunchtime, In the lunchtime, we briefly discussed, and it went on till 3 a.m. because next day morning 9:30 we had to present that. So I remember that very distinctly. And of course, we had the case study blazer competition where we were alive. I mean, we were awake for non-stop 100 hours. I mean, that is something that a marathon exercise, I would say.
Correct. Great. Vineet would say, how was your experience with your mentors on the campus?
Yeah, mentors are always fantastic. Like, they are the people who try to catch some of the things that you don't notice for yourself. Something like, how do you sit in a meeting? How do you come across people? Because those are things that are hard for yourself to observe. But as a mentor, he or she will know that, okay, this is, I know this person and I know how he can be or how she can be. So this is what I have observed, and this is what that person needs to focus on. I think that is the advantage of having a mentor.
Okay, so we are out of time, but there are several questions. So I think Shivangi, he mentioned the food was in during his time. I'm going to quickly go through. Shubham wants to know, how do you overcome the fear of public speaking?
Well, yeah, I remember I had one-on-one discussion several times with Gurdeep sir, and I think in these times, I think there are many other mentors who can guide us, like what is the fear of public speaking, how you can actually overcome that. There are certain trips, certain tricks, and certain tips that can work for you. These are not universal, but based on your personality and based on your particular what do you say problem, mentors will be able to help you out. I think that's how we can overcome that.
Perfect. Great. There's one last question related to finance. So uh, RR would like to know core finance jobs since he's a CA final student.
Okay,
Since you're a
so
CA, you would be the best position to answer that.
yeah, see this after this COVID thing, once the lockdown is over, this compliance thing is going to take a backseat because the priority would be to restart the businesses. And as you know, the finance minister has already announced that several deadlines of the return filing have been extended, maybe till end of November, and some of the dates are extended till December. So the overall message from the government is compliance related burden will be reduced further and further. Okay, so what makes a finance job better is how to focus on numbers that will enrich the values of all the stakeholders, not just the shareholders, but all the stakeholders, even your creditors, your employees, your other partners. Yeah. So I think if you look at uh, uh, value addition to the business, the how the SMEs can grow to become a listed company and how they can go global, I think that will be the advantage of being in the finance profession.